Sayip Tiger, Season 2, Episode 2139. Yeah, Episode 2139. Even the writer lost count long ago. Even the writer lost count long ago. Title: When Ayapa said, "Bro, fix this." Episode opens with a text message. Ayapa's message appears on my phone, the screen glowing like someone put a ring light behind salvation. Sayip, big rush today. Massive. Fix it before I descend from calm to slightly annoyed mode. When a god texts you like a strict but chill manager, your soul does a small push-up out of respect. And that's how Season 2, Episode 2139 begins. Yeah, 2139. At this point, even Netflix would have canceled us for being too consistent. I walk up the Sabarimala Hill path. The mist is rising. The chants echo. The forest is vibrating like a bass speaker in a Maruti 800. 300,000 devotees moving like a slow-motion river of black mundus in sweating devotion. Bootsteps heavy, wind rustling. Me, Sayip Tiger, thinking, why did I take this job? Should have retired in 1894 when Travancore offered me free lifetime payasamela. But no, I chose duty. I chose honor. I chose chaos. Because waiting at the top of the hill was Ashtradalu Crow, the so-called commander of Wing Division Crowd Control. This crow, was sitting alone on a signboard like a manager who arrived at work, saw paperwork, and immediately left his body. He looked at me with total guilt and said, "Bro, I lost my squad at selfie number 837. Nobody survived the influencer zone." A devastating confession. Brother, how do you even lose 38 trained crows to a group of teenagers doing duck lips in front of a temple signboard? This is why we don't give crows responsibility. They can fly, they can gossip, but responsibility? Nope. I stared at him and said, "Ashtralu, this is Sanidhanam, not a K-drama audition." He nodded with the sincerity of a crow who fully intends to disappoint me again in 10 minutes. The main queue was no longer a queue. It had evolved like a Pokemon into something else entirely. One section had become a banana chips market. Another section, a TikTok choreography studio. One boy was doing handstands for Saranam Ayapa Vlog Part 73. And a scooter with two determined grandmas was trying to climb uphill like it was a Fast and Furious spinoff titled Fast and Ferocious Grandma Drift. When I stopped them, they said, "Virtual queue said skip waiting." I told them, "Ma'am, that means skip waiting online. Offline, your knees still exist." The divine roast begins. At this point, I text Ayapa, "Lord, code red, crow useless, crowd behaving like temple carnival, send divine roar." And his reply, my God, the reply. It came with the confidence of a deity who has never needed to raise his voice. "Sayip, I'm already in the line. They made me queue. Handle it. I'll handle everything else in the universe." Imagine being roasted by the calmest being in existence. He didn't shout. He didn't threaten. He just delegated in a tone that made me question my whole employment contract. The coconut flood. Suddenly, a water pipe bursts, and the sacred path becomes Kerala's first official devotional water park. Devotees floating on coconuts like enlightened bumper boats going, "Swamy Saranam Ayapa splash!" One man floated past like a spiritual otter. I saluted him. He saluted back. Pure class. I update the route map with full dignity. Coconut float zone. Take left. And right then, Ayapa texts again, but this time with maximum swagger like he leaned back on his tiger, crossed his divine arms, and typed with one finger. "Sayip, water play okay, but tell them not to use Iramudi as floaties. I ride tiger, not inner tube." That single message carried more attitude than every Malayalam film villain combined. Somehow, amidst dancing pilgrims, floating aunties, vanished crows, and Ayapa's divine customer support messages, the crowd moves. Order returns. Chant rises, steps clear. Sun sets like a golden promise, no one harmed, only one crow mentally broken, snacks eaten, faith restored. I send my final text to the Lord. Swami, queue managed, selfies reduced, 0 deaths, minimal coconut-based accidents. The forest holds its breath. The tiger growls somewhere in approval, and the final message appears. Swag ending text. "Good job, Sayip. You survived episode 2139. Now come down. Payasam waiting. Tiger 2. The screen fades, flute plays, forest breathes, and I, Sayip Tiger, whisper my signature. over and out.